Okay, so this is the paint. Actually, I think my favorite painting, in this exhibition. So I think what really drew me to it at first is like her elegance that I think is not really seen in the other works. So, like her elegance is very obvious, like in different ways. First off, probably you would see like her very dainty facial features, her very long long fingers and like very pretty manicures on both her hands and her feet. You also see her very long neck, a very slender neck it shows like this elegance that's really different from everything. But like as I went into this picture more, I found that like what characterizes her is not just elegance. There's also childishness in her. Like for example, like she has like, these braids, two-sided braids. She has this hair clip here, and it's sort of like a childish hairstyle. And her clothes are like very baggy. It's like very plain. And from all this, you see like she's also sort of a child, and I think like Sun sort of does this intentionally, like with the elegance of her hands, also her the way she sits. Like she's only sitting on half of the chair, like very special sitting position that I think like usually seen in like what's it called, like when they teach you like manners and stuff, like those
Etiquette.
yeah etiquette schools. I think like Sun really intentionally portrays her this way to show her as like a teenage girl, which is the state where she's both a woman but also a girl. She does not have the maturity of like a woman, but she has her elegance. She does not have the childishness of the child, but she still has like this simplicity that you still see. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think I agree with everything you said, like about the elegance, but also the childlike. Like she's like in this phase of transition between child to adult. But I just wanted to add that I think Sun really knows how to focus on things that matter. Like she emphasizes the eyes, hands, and feet of these characters in the paintings a lot because she said that they reveal a lot about the emotion and moods of these characters. And in this painting, some parts of it are like kind of just like not so much in detail, like the hair and the clothes and the chair. The edges and lines are kind of blurred, like they're not as smooth as say the feet, the how she draws the facial features and the hands and the feet. Those are like they look more detailed than some other parts of the painting, and I think that helps emphasize the important parts.
Okay, and I think another thing that I that's worth noticing is the actually on her face, which she says, like Annie talks about, that Sun uses to emphasize her as a person. I think this painting is very interesting because compared to other paintings where the girl is not only just facing the audience or the viewer, they're also looking in their direction. This girl, not only is that she's facing some other side, she's not even looking anywhere. Her eyes are like sort of closed and looking down. Even though like she's placed in a different way, I think the the core is the same. Like what is expressed through her facial features is the same like state of mind. Like she's in her own world. She's not necessarily dazed in this point, but she's like maybe thinking about something in her own world, and she's undisturbed by everything else. I think that's sort of like something that Sun uses to characterize um, teenage girls because it's so prevalent in like her other paintings, but it's also very prevalent in this painting, just in another way. Do you have anything to add?
No, that's it. Okay,
Let me check. So like she's not necessarily making any eye contact, and she's like looking at her feet. She might be thinking about something, like it could be her new nails, which is like the title of the painting, but moreover, it might be something a teenage girl would think about, like she might be just fantasizing about something. And
Yeah, I think all these characteristics that Sun shows are very relatable because we are also teenage girls and we can relate to many of the things that are shown in these paintings. So in most of Swin's paintings, the girls are looking kind of like in the direction of the viewer, but not quite at the viewer, as you can see. Like, she's not really looking at you. She's kind of just like in a trance, like somewhere far away in her own mind. And I think that's the kind of feeling that Swin wants to show, and it reveals a lot about the characteristic of teenage girls, because that's the kind of state that many are in. And the colors, it's very contrasting and dramatic. There's like a brown orangey color in the background, and then there's like this white and the blue that kind of really stands out. And I think the colors make the painting look very raw and real. Instead of trying to make the girls look pretty, she shows them on like a daily casual level that shows like who they really are. And another thing I noticed is like the positioning, like how she lies and the way that her hands and feet are positioned. It's very special to teenage girls around this age. Like, you don't really see any like adults lying this way. Like, the position makes this is a very like free like posture. It shows that like rebellious-ish vibes of teenage girls. And
okay, actually, like I agree with a lot. Like actually everything that Annie has to say. Like a lot of her facial expressions like show her like indifference and also like dazed look is very like this look is very classic for Soon, I think. And it's just the same with this picture. She looks very dazed and like indifferent to us, even though she's like looking right at us. What in terms of the colors, like blue and orange are like contrasting colors. They're like contradictory, but in this painting they're like mixed in a very nice way that makes it, yeah, they're sort of complementing. But like still the use of like orange with blue is sort of like shows, especially with such intensity, like shows like the boldness of Soon, I think. Like the very blue jeans and like the orange hair is like I think part of her move, and this boldness is really something that I think Sun tries to show in addition to like the indifference and dazedness of like the teenagers. In terms of the posture, I think what she's trying to do is the same. Like this posture is giving the vibe of like I don't give no shit and like she is so usually you don't, her legs are separated, and it's also like one here and one like on the sofa. It's very interesting posture, and I think it's just rebelling against like the norm, which also is like sort of something that's conveyed through this characteristic that's conveyed about teenagers in this in this painting. Like I think the very last thing I would actually want to add to this is like her clothing. And you see here that this girl is wearing jeans, and actually jeans is like a motif that is present throughout her paintings, throughout her works, especially in this series. So, and I think like she 术语怎么说? She paints these jeans in a way that really keeps like the roughness of the jeans, like especially on the edges. Like there's a lot of roughness, and a lot of the paint is just there, is not like smoothened out. I think it's just that sort of texture that shows like the rebelliousness of girls, but also like there's still the hair clip that really shows the the still childishness of like teenagers.
They're like in the period of transition between child to adult.